Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Alan and today's video is about a survival cash belt. I bought it for travelling more than anything else as a means to carry some essentials and some valuables, and for the price at less than 12 quid I think it's a bargain. Let's crack on. The belt fits waists between 27.5 inches, which is 70 centimetres, to 41 inches, which is around 104 centimetres. It has a zip section, which is 70 centimetres long. So it's a 27.5 inch zip, which is the pocket for you to secure things or stash things. And the belt is 1.5 inches wide, which is approximately 4 centimetres. And the buckle is made of stainless steel and is apparently made by YKK. The zip is unbranded though. Let's crack on and have a look to see what's inside. What I did do with it is I actually removed the metal part of the zip here, you know, the handle, and I just put a little bit of nano cord on there, just so it didn't protrude so high, then wouldn't dig in. And also, this is in no reflection to the quality of the belt. At either end of the zip, there's like a staple that stops the runner of the zip coming off either end. I just bar tacked some stitches on there by hand at either end, just for security. It hasn't been an issue for me, but I didn't want it to become an issue, so it's just like a little bit like belt and braces, pardon the pun. Anyway, let's crack on. So I have a little photon type LED light, and this is a titanium whistle. Hasn't got to be titanium. The aluminium ones, which are cheap as chips, are the same size, and to be fair, slightly lighter. But so I've got a means of illumination and a means of signalling, and I just, as I say, tied them together. Then I have a large-eyed needle, like a sailboat needle, sailcloth needle, whatever you want to call it, and that is pre-threaded with braid so that I can repair items, sew things up, etc. Then a button compass, just to get cardinal direction. It is just a cheapie. A USB drive, and I've put it in a Ziploc just to give it a bit of protection. And on there would be important documents, things that I may or may not need at a future date. Four water purification tablets. You should know by now, 1 tablet per 1 litre of water. Leave it for 30 minutes, good to go. Next out, some cash, £20 note. A Wazoo Water Bag. I've mentioned these in a previous video. They are the same sort of material that they do the oven cook bags in. So you can put water in here, put it on hot coals and boil water in the bag. It's food safe, blah, 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 blah. I've wrapped round one of the wire, don't know what you'd call them really, the sort of thing you'd put around your loaf of bread to stop it going off. Yeah, it's a piece of wire that's coated and you can just wrap it around the bag to seal it to stop any water leakage. One of the things with this bag that I won't say I'm unhappy with, but I see room for improvement, and I understand that it is primarily made for boiling water on embers, but it may not be that you've got access to fire. It could be a weather, it could be that you don't want to signal your presence, that sort of thing. So what I've done, because I've got a few of these, is I actually put 1 litre of water in a jug So I knew it was a litre of water. I then poured it into one of the bags and then took a measurement. And that is something that I've added with a Sharpie and a ruler. And as you can see, it's just 1 litre. I put a line there. So if I fill that up with water up to that line, that's a litre of water. I can then pop a tablet in there to purify it. If you're interested in the measurement, I'll stick it in the description. Then moving on. "10 foot of nano cord," which is a twisted cord as such. As I say, 10 foot of cordage. It's not fantastically strong. I think it's got a breaking strain of about 40 pound, but it's always handy to have a bit of string or a bit of cordage. A piece of tinder card, which I still rate as a fantastic tinder. You can buy a pack for less than a £5. There's loads, you know, and I mean loads. And you just break it off into little squares, and then when you get, it's a wax impregnated cardboard, and then when you're going to go to use it, you literally just use your thumbnail and split it, and it shows the fibrous contents in there. Rough it up a little bit, could be with a knife, a coin, whatever you've got, and it's a bit like when you're preparing birch bark, and it will then catch a spark. And then you've got tinder. Of course, it will also, if you use a lighter, ignite with that. Then a little itty bitty diddy piece of Write in the Rain paper. And I've just wrote some mobile telephone numbers that are important to me, just in case I lost my mobile phone and my wallet. So, you know, potentially I've been mugged, so my phone's gone, my wallet's gone, that has a piece of paper in it with emergency numbers. That I still have some numbers that I can try and, you know, let people know what's happening or get help, etc. Then there's one tinder plug. Because they're quite thick, all I've done is got some pliers and squashed it down a little bit. So there's 2 different types of tinder there. A small ferro rod. And then in this little Ziploc, there is a ceramic striker, which I think was from Wazoo, a single-sided razor blade, and a couple of safety pins. And then last but not least, is a little mirror. And what these are, you can buy car replacement mirror glass that is in fact plastic. On eBay, they do universal ones. They're not that expensive. But if you buy one, then you just get a pair of, you know, sharp scissors, sort of kitchen scissors, and cut bits out to match the size. So that's what I've done with this. I've just cut it so it fits inside the belt. And no, it's not as good as a proper signal mirror, but it's a mirror. I can use it for first aid or for signalling. It's a bit blurry, as you can see there, because then what I've done is I've just used a bit of cling film and covered it with cling film just to offer it a bit of protection and to stop it getting scratched. And that is the full contents of that belt. So that's it. That's the contents of my survival cash belt. Is it something that you'd entertain? I know Wazoo do a cash belt, pretty much the same design, a few extra tweaks. Instead of having a zip, it's got a Velcro, and on the metal buckle, there is the capability to put a signal mirror behind it. So there is a couple of sort of perhaps better points with the Wazoo cash belt, but in the UK, the Wazoo cash belt is 70 quid without contents. The belt I've just shown you is less than 12 quid without contents. So is the Wazoo belt £50 better? I think not. But anyway, that's something that you can decide. I'd love to know whether or not it's something that you'd consider. To be fair, I wouldn't walk around blighty every day with it. And if you are going to, because there's no reason that you can't, just be a little bit mindful of what you put in there. Yeah, I wouldn't have the razor blade in there if I'm walking around in a public, so to speak, just in case. You never know what happens. And as I say, I'd love to read your comments. Is it something that you would wear? I got it primarily for travelling, if I go abroad or whatever. And if you did, or if you would, or even if you already own one, what do you carry in it? I'd love to know. Anyway, if you found the video useful, give us one of them. Consider subscribing, please. Doesn't cost you anything. Does help the channel get more attention, for want of a better word. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.